Hello, Steve Luff here, and you've just heard me playing Amazing Grace in the key of C. Now, what I've also done is I've added in some jazzy improvisation. Now, we're in the key of C, and when those who've been playing this for a while will know when you play in the key of C, we don't need to use the slide because there's no sharp or flat notes in the key of C. However, if I want to make it sound jazzy, I do have to add in these what you could call slide jabs, and basically what I'm doing by adding those in, I'm using an element of the chromatic scale, a passing tone, a jazzy passing tone to give it a jazzy bluesy feel. So for example, when you hear me doing this sort of stuff, that's essentially what I'm doing. Although I'm in the key of C, I'm jumping out, putting in a little bit of improvisation, some passing tones, and it just gives it a whole completely different feel. And so let's break it down a little bit. So if we take Amazing Grace and we play it through first without the improvisation. Okay, no passing tones in there. Now I'm going to play it again with the passing tones. Okay, so what I did there, I did a passing tone on the fifth hole, which is basically a C note. So I did a C sharp, and I did one on the A note on the 3, and that would be an A sharp. Now, I could have been drawing, I could have been blowing. It doesn't really matter. I know those are my key points where I can find those notes. And now you're probably thinking, well, how do I know that? Where do I start? How do I even get to that point? Well, I'm going to just sort of break it down as logically as I can in the way that my brain works when I work all this out. So I'm playing Amazing Grace and I'm playing the melody in the key of C major. But when I want that jazzy improvisation, well, actually, I don't want to think in terms of C major anymore. I want to think in terms of A minor pentatonic, or A minor blues. Because those scales are more bluesy and more jazzy anyway. And because A minor and C major are related, it works because they're essentially got a special relationship. So just to give you an example, if you go and have a look at the A blues scale to start with, and have a look at how the A blues scale has that passing tone in there, and that passing tone changes everything. So you've got one note when you have to use the slide jab, and what it does is by adding that chromatic passing tone, it suddenly makes it feel completely different. And so that's how I'm working these out. So as a good exercise, for example, you could take the A minor scale, you could play it through a few times, get comfortable with it, then start to explore which notes work well with slide jabs, whether that be drawing or blowing or both. So for example, when I play the A note, you can commonly hear me doing this. So I'm doing a draw and a blow, hitting the slide jab each time. And that's just come through practice, lots and lots of practice, using my ears, starting to feel a bit of muscle memory, starting to feel comfortable with where those bits are. So let's have a look at the next part of the song. So on this next section, there's a break in the melody where in a moment I'm going to add some improvisation. So let me do what I did before. I'm just going to play you the melody first, so it sounds like something like this. So when we get to that point there's a little gap, and I'm like, well, I want that bit to suddenly sound a bit jazzy. So all I do is I find a passing tone and add it in. So let me play it again with that in. And I'm doing that again on the A. So in this key of A minor, if I want to make it jazzy, I've got lots of passing tones and things that I can use on that A note. So I'm actually going to just skip ahead a little bit for the last example, because most of it is just sort of common themes and a lot of repetition. So for the last bit, which is if we play it straight, it's this part of the song. So rather than playing it straight, I'm going to do it like this with the improvisation. So what I'm basically doing there is I'm adding in a little slide. and then going straight back into that lovely little chromatic passing tone that I can do on the A note, on the 7, on the A. So it's a lot of the same, it's just the way that you dress it up is the big difference. And at the very end, you hear how I go high up, and I actually end up on the 9th hole, but that's actually the same as the 5th hole. So I'm just doing the same thing in a different octave. So although it sounds really grand, it's actually very simple when you break it down. If you want to see the tabs, follow the link in the description below, and you can have a look at them and see how I've written them out. They're not going to be 100% the same as how I played it, because I'm always improvising, but it's pretty close. And let me know your thoughts. Hope that's been helpful. And just remember, you can find loads of info on my website, loads of videos on my channel, and there will be plenty more to come soon. Thank you very much. Cheers. Goodbye.